47th President of the United States. So I want to thank the American people for the extraordinary honor of being elected your 47th President.
Yesterday, Donald Trump won the elections of 2024, and we know that 20th of January 2025, he's going to be taking office. I know this bothers a lot of international students, a lot of people working in the US already, and people who are about to go to the US as well. This is precisely why I'm making this video. Is US still the best destination to go to for the highest return on investment? The answer is still yes. Just because Donald Trump goes to the White House does not mean that the job market goes down. It's still stable, it's still decent. The return on investment in the US is still better than almost any country out there. And the economy will be boosted by coming in of Trump. That's what happened previously as well. So hopefully that continues this time as well. But based on the last term and announcements made, we know that as an immigrant, essentially, you need to worry. So I'm going to be talking to you about the potential issues that you guys might face. And then I'll also talk to you about certain solutions and the good things that might come out of this. Let's not make it too long. Let's get started. I'll tell you based on my experience what happened when Trump was there. Essentially, I've been in the industry for about 7 years now, and I've seen Trump and his administration operate. Along with that, we have our attorney who's been working for 15 years that works with us for some of you guys as well. And they've also seen a lot. And based on that, we had a discussion. And I feel that number one, and right now let's talk about the students first. I want to tell you that last time when Trump was in the office, essentially getting especially visas to the US, appointments essentially to go to the US for these students was significantly tougher. Rejection rates were higher, and the reason being that scrutiny was just so much higher. So these are some of the potential issues that you guys might face as international students, but we will give you a solution for it. Before that, the next issue, H-1B might have more restrictions. As you already might know, last time before Trump left the White House, his plan was to change H-1B instead of a lottery-based system to a compensation-based system so that only the people with the highest wages should be allowed to stay in the US. Moreover, H-1B slots, the appointments basically to renew your visa, also had a lot of delays, also had a lot of appointment wait times. In certain cases, people with perfectly fine I-140s filed, their green cards are about to be approved and they're just waiting for the backlog to clear. But what happened was when they went for extension of an H-1B, they had to go back home simply because extensions were not being granted many times. And since the H-1B might actually change to a compensation-based system, if at all it happens, we know that certain consultancies, what they do is they basically run payrolls for you, where you basically pay them the money in maybe in India, and then they give you 70% of the money in US, something like that. They give you the payroll essentially so that you can qualify to stay in the US a little bit longer to find jobs. I feel this also might be cut down upon given the high scrutiny, and if, of course, a compensation-based system comes in, most students are not going to be able to give that much money essentially to run their payroll on that high level of a basis that allows you to stay in the US. Another important thing to talk about over here would be point number 3, H-4 visa restrictions. H-4 visa holders are the dependents of H-1Bs. Now, as a special rule, when Obama administration came in, they changed the rule from basically H-4 people not being able to work at all to allowing H-4 workers, basically spouses of H-1Bs, to work in the US. And they were able to work as long as the H-1B applicant had the I-140 approved, which is basically their green card petition approved. We all know that for especially Indians, Chinese nationals, these wait times of the green card can sometimes be 20 to 30 years if you're not going through the talent route. And hence, in such cases, between those 20 to 30 years, when these people are waiting, essentially, their spouses were not able to work. And hence, H-4 was allowed to be able to work. That means H-4s were getting EADs. What we feel is that H-4 visa holders might have some restrictions upcoming. We don't know for sure, but Trump did have this on his agenda, essentially, that H-4 workers should not be given an EAD whatsoever. While this was not possible last time, this is something that he might pick up on. Now, these are all the potential issues and the negatives and the downsides of what might happen. Keep in mind that this is just anticipation. Nothing is actually going on right now. Now, let's talk about the solutions. My number one solution and first off, we're going to be talking about students again, is that you target the topmost universities. I personally feel if you're going for top universities, I think you're not in danger. Your visas are approved much more easily. You get to stay in the US without much scrutiny. You get a good job essentially right out of college. So it is better to stick to the topmost universities than to go to these tier 2, tier 3 universities where if there's even a little bit of scrutiny, it just looks like you're basically going to the US not to study but to settle down, simply because why are you not studying in your home country when you can get a similarly ranked university over there? So it just gets very difficult to explain that to the visa officer. Number two, and instead of a solution, this is actually a good thing that Trump has promised. Now, we went through this multiple times, and it's not just for PhD students. Trump actually promised a green card to almost every student who even gets a diploma out of a US college. So if you're getting a bachelor's, master's, PhD probably from the US, you should be given a green card. And that's something he said before the elections. Now, we all know how these things work, but if he were to carve out a pathway for even 10% of you guys to get a green card, I feel that would be one of the best things that comes out of this elections. There was no such promises made by the other side, essentially Kamala Harris, but that's something that was on the Trump's agenda. We don't know if it'll be great or if it will happen at all, but we know that something might work out for you guys. And finally, I want to talk to you about the talent-based visas. That's the O1 visa instead of the H1B. If you have that one, it's much, much better. The reason being that the Trump administration last time also made things difficult for the H1B holders, but as mentioned by attorney previously as well, O1 visa holders were relatively not impacted as much. So if you're hoping to get into the talent-based stream, you can go for that one. The second thing is O1 also offers you a route to EB1 instead of the EB2 or EB3, which has somewhere around 20-30 years of wait times. EB1 right now only has a wait time of approximately just 2 years to get you a green card, even if you're an Indian national. Indians, Chinese wait somewhere around 2 years. Other people wait probably nothing, essentially, because it's happening on a current basis. On this channel, I've made videos about the O1 and the EB1, both. You can take a look at those videos and you can understand how to build a strategy for your particular profile. And of course, if you need more help regarding your particular case, you can always reach out to me on WhatsApp. I may be able to help you. But we publish success rates of these O1s and EB1s that are filed with our attorney as well every couple of weeks over email. So if you'd be interested in those success rates, you can also go ahead, sign up on YMGrad.com. You'll automatically be added to the email list and you'll get those success rates by default delivered to your email. Remember, getting these visas is not that tough, and Trump himself wants extraordinary people in the country, and that's something that he's mentioned many times. But these were all the pointers I wanted to go over with you. I hope this video helps. Make sure that you subscribe to the channel and also follow me on Instagram, because I'll be giving you more such important updates based on my experience and our attorney's experience in future as well. Share this with the people who need to know, and thank you so much for watching this one. I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye and take care.